Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. So patch 11.7 dropped around just over 24 hours ago, about 30 hours ago, and there's been a heap of new stuff going on. I played it pretty much 18 hours straight, then I had to go to bed because I've been already awake for a long time. I will be getting the rest of the way to 40 today, so I'll be able to do a better in-depth video about this. But I wanted to give my first impressions of what I've done so far and what's happened in the game and just talk about some of the main points. So guys, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So currently, patch 11.7, there was a heap of new things added, as well as fixes, etc. And they had the 3 new guns added. So the MDR, which is a 5.56 caliber bullpup rifle, has been added. It's got a 650 firing rate, but it's got a lot better ergonomics. And its recoil is probably about the same as an M4, but the actual ergonomics is really high. So as a gun itself, it's pretty fun to use. It's pretty much just like an M4. It sounds kind of similar. Overall, it's really going to be one of those guns that I think people are going to use for the fun of it more than like for top tier. But I know like other people really like it so far that have been getting their hands on it as well. So I'm actually really happy to see another 5.56 gun in the games, because at least that way we're actually getting more than just M4s and HKs, and we can actually see some variations of other guns that aren't AKs as well. Moving on to SVD. Now this gun is devastating. I'll just play a clip here so you guys can actually hear it shoot and it do some damage to people. Yeah. Now, as you can see, this is a devastating gun. It's actually a lot of fun to use. Where it sits in the meta, I think it's just going to be the whole meta. To be honest, it's just so devastating. Currently sitting around the mid 90,000 mark to buy. Magazines are cheap, like 5,000 to 10,000, depending if you want the 10 or 20 rounds. And it's just using LPS GZH rounds. You can put different brackets on it to put either a red dot, or you want to put a PSO straight on it, you can do that. You can have this gun fully ready to go, running out of your pockets with in under 120k rubles. So really, really devastating gun. I think, and it's also limited to 5 per reset. I think overall, this is probably where the game will just be. It'll be either guys using assault rifles, MDRs, M4s, HKs, or the AKs, or this. I think this is just going to be devastating. On the closer maps, you want to have the ability to shoot full auto. On the longer range maps, something like the SVD is just going to be devastating at anything further than say 30 to 40 meters. You still use it close range. I've been using it a lot at close range. You can spam the firing very fast, but if you fight from the hip, it's really bad, which is good. That's what you want. You want to make people ADS, so if they've got a long range scope on it, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And if they're not, if they've got a red dot on it, well then they're going to devastate. Moving on to one of the next main topics is the recoil increase. Personally, I haven't really seen it, I haven't done enough testing to actually do a proper analysis on if it's sitting at a good point. Personally, I think it's definitely noticeable that there's more kick, but as soon as you go full auto, it still goes to that auto aim assist, and it is shooting very accurately. If you've got a 60 round mag, you're shooting very accurately. Overall, I'll just leave that there. I will do a more in-depth video using similar testing to what I've done in the past, probably a lot more professional. Then we can actually see where we're sitting with spray patterns and stuff like that. Probably the main controversial issue that I caused was about the flea market. Now, when the wipe happened, I deliberately set out with a mission in mind, an objective in mind. Normally, it's like get to 40 as soon as possible. This one, I didn't. I actually wanted to see if I could sell Salewers very quickly and make a shitload of money. And I was going to full intention to give the money back. But just to show how I don't think the flea market should be available in the first 48 to 72 hours. I think just let people play the game and have to find their own items and share with their mates and just force that kind of play style for the first 72 hours. And then once a heap of the players have already leveled up and there's a lot of stuff accessible from traders, from multiple people at the same time, then open up the flea market. And then that way there'll be all these people putting all these stuff up, driving prices instantly low. And then that way one person isn't sitting there making a bootload of money. So, I set out, I went directly onto the Purport storyline, got Salewers unlocked from Postman Pat, and I started selling them very, very quickly. I sold about, I don't know, probably 2,000 or 3,000 within the first 10 minutes and made about 70 million rubles. I was going to go all the way to 1 billion, but Nikita stopped me. Nikita was watching my channel when it happened, and he capped it at 10 per reset. I spoke to Nikita via DM straight after that, and I said that it's going to be an issue with every item. Any item. I said any item that's required for a quest or anything like that, it's going to need either a cap or you need to remove the ability to use the flea market. So he went through and put a cap on a lot of the items from being able to be sold in masses straight away. Good. It's a good, in my opinion, it's a band-aid fix. I'll let you guys figure out that. With the 70 million, I probably gave away by buying stupidly expensive items on the flea market. I gave away about most of it. And yeah, just bought heaps of ridiculous keys and stuff like that. So, you know, I don't think there's any issue with what I did. I know there's some people going crazy over it. I don't really care. Last wipe, I can say with confidence, there were people that were doing this straight away. Now, just to give you some perspective, trader rating takes about 10 million rubles to go through the flea market to get one trader rating. 100 million will get you 10, and 1 billion rubles will get you 100 rating, right? So for you have to sell those items. Not all, obviously that 1 billion rubles isn't a billion profit. It's you selling items and making profit. Now, on the first season of last wipe, when the leaderboard was there, you could actually see the trader rating of people, and I stopped at 20 million last wipe because that was enough money to just fund me to get all the way to 40. There was people that were like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th to the levels that I was getting, who were straight away just sitting there selling all these Salewers and 60 round mags, morphine, all those quest items that you guys need. And if you even just look at the leaderboard, because you can still access it, they're at 280 trader rating after 2 weeks of the wipe. Now, I did this purely just to show that there's not an exploit. It's just capitalism. It's just whoever gets to the supply first to give out to all that demand. So I did that purely for that reason and to get it changed because it just needs to be changed. So you don't want on day 3 or 4 a couple of people having like up to 1 billion rubles. It's just nuts. Like, you don't want that, because then for the rest of the wipe, they've got that much money, they can just control the market. They can buy all the expensive items, put them up even more expensive, and they can do all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what I feel about the flea market entirely. I'm going to leave this one here, but that's why I did it. I don't really care if you don't like the fact that I did it. You should probably be happy that I did it in some respects, because I made it so no one could do it. Because otherwise you're going to have people that were constantly going to be putting up, flipping items all the way to the really best items in the game and making shitloads of money. And then for the rest of the wipe, sitting there with like their 1 billion rubles. I'm not saying that these people that did it last wipe were selling it off to third parties or anything like that, but that's what it opens it up to, though. It just makes it so easy for people to do that kind of stuff. Now, moving on to the leveling side of things, about every quest had about 1/3 of its XP cut away. If you just look at this as a whole, previously it took me about 110 to 120 tasks to get to level 40, and there's about 150 tasks in the game. So if you took 1/3 of the XP away from all those tasks, you could pretty much say that you're going to have to do every task in the game now to get level 40 just from your tasks alone. I'm already at level 33. I'm just shy of 34. And when I stopped, I wanted to have a break and get some rest because I'd been awake already for 40 hours, and then go straight back into doing it again, because it's probably going to take me another 12 to 18 hours to finish it. I think it's probably just a little bit too much, because now the quests are also harder. It's really probably going to be very difficult for people that play 2 to 5 hours a week to even get 40 in 6 months. Like, unless you know exactly what you're doing every time you log on and go into raid, it's going to be very difficult. And the flea market will give you access to be able to get certain items, but it's going to be just one of those things where it will be very slow because you're not going to have the rhythm and the momentum of leveling. I'm going to do more of a detailed analysis on this later. I really want to, like, after I've got all the quests complete and I've got all the XP there and all the information there, I can go, maybe that this needs to move around a little bit or make more accessible at the same time, because some of these quests are really annoying. But they're not bad quests, they're just annoying. So I'll try and do my best to build a little bit of a flow chart, we'll say, to make it go a bit more smoothly, and we could probably put that forward, and I'll put that forward to you guys, and you guys can talk about if you guys like it. One of the big things as well with tasks is a lot of them have extra stuff required to complete them. So for example, chumming is not just place down 3 gold chains in 3 different locations, but you also need to get 10 PMC kills between 2 and 10 AM on interchange. Stuff like that. So the tasks are actually a lot harder to complete. Next, we've got the labs. Now, you do need a key to get into labs now. You can find these on the scav bosses. You can buy them from therapist level 2 for 115,000. You can buy them from mechanic level 2 for a Bitcoin. And they're 1 trade per reset only. Or you can actually find these in filing cabinets. Every single person in your party needs one to get into labs. And whilst this is a cool idea, every single time I've been in the labs now, besides twice, there hasn't been another player in there. Besides one time, or a couple of times I went in with someone else, but there was no one else in there. Now, I'm sure this will change when more people get access to the cards. But I'm afraid that it might start turning it into a little bit of a PvE map, which means we could run around the bottom floor of the map, search all the items that we need, and then click the buttons when we're ready to kill the raiders. So I think it'll be alright in the end. It just needs a bit more time. It's still too early to really talk about that in depth, but it's just an interesting thing. There is plenty of ways to get those key cards though, and every time I find not every time I search a filing cabinet, I've found about 5 in filing cabinets already, so they're accessible. They are selling on the flea market for a lot of money. If you want to make some money, that's the easy way to doing it too. So my general feeling around 11.7 is that there's still issues with the lag and the desync. Every time there's a content patch, that it just seems to resurge and happen. But overall, it's still a fun patch. There's a lot of people, it always brings a lot of people back to the game when there's a wipe, and it's good to see, particularly the Australian servers populated again, and it's a lot of fun for that. I am excited to see 12.0 come out, hopefully not too far in the future, because I feel like whilst this is exciting for now, it will drop off very quickly. So I really do hope Battlestate Games are putting all their effort into getting 12.0 out as soon as possible, and really hope that they keep the momentum of a really fun game to play. So guys, I'm going to leave this here. Hopefully you liked it. I'm going to put a more in-depth video out over the next few days. I'm going to put heaps of videos out, really. So guys, thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for future content. I stream on Twitch every day at the moment. Go down the link below. Give me a follow over there. If you've got any Tarkov questions, feel free to hit me up on my live stream or down in the comments below. And lastly, I'll see you next time. Somewhere over the rainbow, we will wipe, and then we'll get access to hideouts and fun new gear.